Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So let's continue with. Okay, anyone didn't submit the assignments yet? Can raise your digital hand. The open work assignment. I've given a lot of time now, so we have almost closed the form, but still I get messages saying that Mataji, I didn't complete. But then I've been given extra 1 week also, na. I'm supposed to close long back, but still I gave extra week. So is there someone who didn't submit? Sahili, Mataji. At least you finished writing, Mataji, now?
Mataji,
Yes,
Mataji, I couldn't attend the class from like 1st December to 12th December. So
that's okay. That's okay for you. It's fine. And what about Santosh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I had a tragedy in the family. My father expired, because of which, I couldn't attend the classes also. So my assignments are also pending because of that.
Okay, so both of you are writing,
Mataji,
or
when can I submit? When can I submit?
Can you do in 2 days?
Yes, Mataji, I will try my best in 2 days.
What about Santosh Prabhu?
Mataji, because I was out of station, so
Okay.
I'm not. I may require a bit of more time if it is allowed, please.
Yeah.
If allowed. I am not asking for
Yeah, let me check with temple president and
only if it is allowed. Otherwise, no issue. I'll just continue.
We'll see. Okay. So 25 or 26 today? We stopped at 25.
Mataji, 36 Mataji.
6 Mataji.
36 Mataji.
Oh, 26 was that another batch. 36 na. Oh, so we are almost towards the end of the chapter. Okay. Yeah, we finished this. 36 we have to do, na?
Yes, Mataji. We have to start.
So I'm taking 3-4 batches. And each batch is of different level, because sometimes discussion goes long. I can't finish. Okay, I'll start with 3.36. Arjuna uvaja adakena prayukto ayam papam charadi purushaha anichan api varshneya balat iva niyojitaha. Arjuna said, now listen of Vrishni, by what is one impelled to sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if engaged by force? So Arjuna is asking, sometimes you don't want to get angry, but sometimes you feel like very angry, and might be husband to wife, wife to husband, or children to parents, parents to children. So sometimes you feel after you getting angry, you will regret, no? Why did I get angry? Why did I say that to her? Or why did I say this to me? So what is, Arjuna is asking, what is that which is making us do that? Sinful acts. Sometimes we hear some news in the newspaper or TV and all, and our neighbor did this. But actually, we believe sometimes? We feel like this person will never do it. He's such a nice person. How can he do the murder, or how can he do the theft? You feel like that. He's a nice person, but it's because of these 3 modes. So Arjuna is asking, how is that unwillingly somebody is doing something, unwillingly, as if engaged by force? So Krishna is saying, Sri Bhagavan Uvaja Kamesha Krodesha Raja Guna Samudbhavaha Mahasano Mahapapma Vidit Enam Ihavairinam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said it's last only Arjuna, which is born of the contact with the material modes of passion, and later transferred to wrath, and which is all devouring sinful enemy of this world. So the main enemy is lust, kama. Did we discuss this? What is the difference between lust and love? Did we discuss?
No, Mataji.
Yeah, can someone say?
No, Mataji.
No, Mataji.
Mataji, may I?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, the difference between lust and love is that lust is it's very violent in its own form, has a personal motive, whereas love does not have any personal motive. It's not selfish.
Okay. So lust is selfish and love is not. Okay.
Yes.
Lakshmi Mataji, what is your answer? That's a nice
Hare
answer.
Krishna, Hare Krishna
Yes.
Mataji. In lust, we become selfish and we only think of ourselves and we only think of our sense gratification. But in love, we think of the others. We put the others first, then before thinking of ourselves, and it is completely selfless, and we do not have any place
Very good.
for like anger,
Yes.
like insecurities and all the negativity. We always like Srimati Radha had for Krishna, or like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like all the devotees who has for pure devotees have for Shri Krishna.
Yes.
So that is.
So one is love and one is lust. Very nice answer. Yes, Kanchan Mataji. What is your?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
Anything done for the Supreme Lord Krishna is love, and
Okay.
anything done for the sense gratification is lust.
Very nice. So this is the right answer I was looking for. Yes. So it is said, Atmendriya Tripti Vanja Tarana Kam, Krishnendriya Tripti Vanja Tarana Prem. Atmendriya Tripti Vanja. If you try to satisfy your senses, that is calm. But if you satisfy Krishna's senses, Krishnendriya Tripti Vanja, that is love. Okay, that is love. There is no true love in this material world. Even if we find little bit, 1%, 2% of true love, that is for the mother to a child. Mother to the child. Children to parents is different. That can get altered. But then mother to the child is a special bond, except in some rare cases. But that, yes. But that's the only other things what we see here. That's so-called love. That's not real love. Because once we die, that love is gone, right? Only till you're living, there is love with this relationships and all there. But then eternal love is to Krishna, right? Yeah, perverted form of love. Yes, good. So there's a reflection. Urda Mula Madashagam Ashwatha Prahuravyam. This material world is like a inverted banyan tree. So whatever is real, that is love in the spiritual world, is lust here. Just a perverted reflection here. So lust is the only cause which is associated with the mode of passion. No, Rajoguna. When you are in Rajoguna, you can see, I want more, more, more. That's a nice story. There's a rich person, and his neighbor was very poor. The poor family was so happy. Sometimes you feel when you go to the slum, they are so happily living. They might have only whatever is needed for today. Tomorrow they don't even have money to live, but they are so happy. They're enjoying life. But in a big film star or cricket star, they are committing suicide. What is that lacking? So so in that same way, a rich person was there and a poor neighbor. So the rich person was like, how come he's so happy in life? So a Pandit, a learned person, came and said, you put 9 coins, gold coins, on his courtyard around his house, and next day you see. So the rich man put 9 gold coins somewhere here and there. And when the poor man got up next day, he saw 1 gold coin. He started searching for the other, searching. He got 9 gold coins. Then he started searching for the 10th one, but there was no 10 gold coins. From that day onwards, his sleep was disturbed. He was not happy. He was working for the 10th coin, and he worked so hard. He did extra job, overtime, double job to just get that 1 gold coin. So finally he worked hard and he got that gold coin, and he was happy coming home. Oh, my 10 gold coins are completed. But by the time he came back, his wife and daughter took 2 gold coins and spent them. Started buying some sari and all that. Now again he have to work for 2 gold coins. Then again he started working. So the rich man started seeing, then the Pandit is like, see him, now he doesn't have happiness, there is problem at home, everything. Till yesterday, till that day he had gold coins, he was peaceful and aram. This is what lust will make us do, right? So Maya is so strong. Maya is so strong. We have some, we want more. We want 10, we want 100,000. That's the nature. That's our nature. But then when you get attached to Krishna, then you feel like whatever Krishna has supplied, I'm happy. That's enough. It's enough and more Krishna has supplied to me. Now you feel really satisfied because your Yayatma Suprasithiti, you are feeding your soul now. You started chanting the holy name. You started knowing that everything is temporary. I can't even take anything when I die. So why am I struggling so much? Just for 4 chapatis, that's what Prabhupada says. So whatever work we have, do it, but don't overstrain yourself. Atyahara prayasya prajalpa niyamagraha jana sangasya laulyam cha shadbir bhakti vinashyati. So next, we'll start with nectar of devotion, then nectar of instructions and all. So in nectar of instructions, it is said by Rupa Goswami, atyahara, overeating or over collecting, atyahara prayasya, over enduring, prajalpa, talking some gossip and nonsense talks. Then jana sangasya laulyam, associating with non-devotees, and greed will for material things will destroy your bhakti. The 6 things will destroy your bhakti. So we have to be very careful that lust should not conquer us. Whatever lust we have, turn to Krishna service. So that becomes love to Krishna, right? So otherwise, Maya is very strong, can capture us anytime. So these are the steps we saw in the 2nd chapter. How the mind will think, willing and feeling, and by contemplating on objects, you keep thinking, what happens? You become attached to it. Then when it leads to lust, unsatisfied lust will lead to anger, then delusion, bewilderment, loss of intelligence, and fall down. So this we have already explained now, how the fall down will happen. So what is the analogy Prabhupada mentions in this purport? Milk come in contact with tamarind will become yogurt. Yes, Kanjan Mataji. Similarly, Hare Krishna, you raised your hand. Can unmute now.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Like it is said that when living entity comes in contact with material creation, so it is the love transforms into lust, just like milk in contact with sour tamarind, it transforms into yogurt. So just like that.
Yeah.
So
okay, good. So what is adhata brahma jitna? So you understood how when milk, when it's kept near tamarind or you put lime juice in it, it becomes yogurt. Similarly, the soul, when it's associated with the 3 modes of material, which are mostly Rajagun and Tamagun, we become spoiled, or we become conditioned. Okay, so what is, so if you don't have to do that, we should be adhato brahma jitnasa. What is this term? What do you mean by adhato brahma jitnasa? Ankita Mataji.
Mataji, we should be of transcendental nature, just like Vishwamitra and Parshuram, who were of Brahman background and Kshatriya background, but took different roads to move ahead because they had transcendental modes to move, basically.
Yeah, so Adhata Brahmacharya means transcendental knowledge, like inquisitive to know about Brahman, right? Who is a Brahmana? Brahma Janadi Idi Brahmana, who knows Brahman. That is a Brahmana. So Adhata Brahmacharya's first Vedanta Sutra, which means when Sanatana Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he ask? Does anyone know? What did Sanatana Goswami ask Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Prafulla Mataji.
He asked, who am I, Mataji?
Yeah, who am I, or K am I? So that's the question he asked. Sanatana Goswami is a great Pandit. You don't have to ask this. But still, why did he ask? So that inquisitiveness, tadvidi pranipatana pari prashnena seva. You have to ask questions. And Janmadhya Sevita means Krishna is the source of everything. So, so we'll have a quick breakout room discussion. Okay, then Sloka says about as fire is covered by smoke, as mirror is covered by dust, as embryo is covered by the womb of the living entity is similarly covered by different degrees of lust. You need to give example of each of these categories, like how is the smoke covered, the fire covered by smoke, mirror with dust, and the embryo in the womb. And you should little more explain how is this, because this sloka will create confusion to many devotees. There are 2 aspects of it in the purport. If you understood, we'll have a discussion of this 5 minutes. Okay, so there are degrees of lust in every one of us, and it is given in 3 categories. So you need to go to the breakout room and discuss that what is this about, and how do you overcome it. Okay, how do you overcome these 3 degrees of lust, and whom it is compared to. Actually, 2 aspects of it is mentioned. So we'll have a quick breakout room for 5 minutes and come back. Okay. Hare Krishna. Is everyone back? Yeah. Oh, room number 4 is still there. Ankita Mataji, Prafula Mataji, and Rachita Mataji, they are discussing. Okay, let them join. Let's discuss from room number 2. Deepali Mataji, Natasha Mataji, Pampa Mataji, Santosh Prabhu. Who's this SB? Okay, I can unmute. Just discuss. Yeah. Who's speaking?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. This is Santosh
Yes.
from room number 2, Mataji.
Ah, yes.
Mataji, we discussed about the 3 coverings. What we thought of is about the embryo covering the womb, which indicates the helplessness of the embryo inside the womb.
Okay.
It cannot move outside the womb. So the analogy is that of a tree, which is a living entity, but still it is to stand in the sun, rain, and wind. It cannot move from one place to another.
Okay.
The second was the smoke covering the fire. So when there is smoke, that means there is fire, but for sure. But because of the covering, the fire cannot be seen. The analogy is that to the birds or the beast, wherein the lust factor is so much that there is no Krishna consciousness. This is the earliest stage of Krishna consciousness.
Okay.
And the third is the dust on the mirror. The analogy can be given to that of human beings, who, if they come into Krishna consciousness, that dust will get removed from the mirror, and there will be plain bhakti.
Okay.
To add to it, Mataji, it is Cheto Darpana Marjana.
Okay, so let's go to room number 4. Nikita Mataji, Prafula Mataji, Rachita Mataji. Yeah, Rachita Mataji, you can unmute.
I would like to summarize our discussion is that these examples, namely the fire covered by smoke, a mirror covered by dust, and an embryo covered by the womb, it is a living entity's material condition after it comes in touch with the 3 modes of material nature, namely the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And we can so originally we are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Goddess, where Sachidananda. So our eternal our position is like the eternal servant of Krishna, and by chanting the Mahamantra, we can remove the smoke, dust, and we can be free from the 3 modes of material nature only by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And as soon as we come in touch with the material world, we develop these vices, namely lust, anger, greed, and envy and attachment, which makes us commit a lot of sins, knowingly or unknowingly. So when we work for Krishna, so our sins might reduce.
Yes. So whatever Santosh Prabhu said, Prabhu, one, I think you let dust and mirror is actually for the birds and beasts, and human form is actually the fire, the blaze. And here it is said, by carefully handling the smoke in the fire can be made to a blaze. That's human life is a chance for living and escape. What you told the Cheto Darpana Marjanam, yes, that is also. So there are 2 aspects of it. One is comparing it with the different living entities, right? So the embryo in the womb, it's like the trees, and the smoke and the fire is human beings, and the mirror is the birds and beasts. That is one classification. Another classification is in human beings itself, there are 3 types of consciousness, right? For devotees, it's like dust in the mirror. So Cheto Darpana Marjana can be done. For some, they are still in the Annamaya Kosha, it's completely covered. And for some, it's like the smoke and the fire. So the 2 aspects of this is, one based on different living entities you can categorize, one is in human form itself, now you can categorize. So any other extra points which someone got in room number 2 and 1? Jyoti Mataji, Manasvi, Varun Prabhu, Vilas Prabhu.
Mataji, in this the fire covered by smoke, it is symbolizing living entities, human beings, because we are tiny parts and parcels of Krishna, and that tiny sparks, and so if we take to Krishna consciousness, then that spark, it can work wonders.
Yes. Yes.
And that mirror covered by dust is symbolizing beasts and birds.
Beasts and birds.
Hare Krishna Mataji, may I add one point?
Yes, Vilas Prabhu.
Yeah, actually, out of total 84 lakhs of species, only human human can do only human only. So we by adopting the Krishna consciousness, he can only, this is the only person or the human being only can go back to
the path of liberation. Yes, only human being. Prabhupada mentions here, it's only human being who can have a chance to escape this entanglement of material existence. Yes.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, I also would like to add what Vilas Prabhuji said on my personal application, that there are times when I don't follow the rules and regulations in the for Krishna consciousness. I commit a lot of mistakes, but still I try my best to chant the Mahamantra as even one round of mala I try to do, because it's very difficult to control the mind. So that is personal application along with whatever is given in the Gita. So this human form of life is very precious, because we can ask intelligent questions like, why are we suffering? How do we come out of the suffering? Why do we have four problems in life? So how do we come out of this bondage? So this human form of life is meant for it.
Yes. Hare Krishna. So human form of life is very, very special. And also Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumara acharat pratnyo dharman bhagavataniha durlabam manushan janmam tadapi adruvam arthadam. So why human form is very precious? Because it's very rare and it's only in this form can you go back to Krishna. There's no other form, right? You might ask, oh, animal like elephant like Gajendra can go back, because Gajendra was in Pradumna Maharaj in previous life and he did lot of devotional service, right? So that is exceptional cases where he got cursed to become an elephant, but otherwise human form is the one who can do a devotional service. So last is covering us in different grades, and in human form it's very easy to clean it, very, very easy, right? Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Dhavagni Nirvapanam Shreyas Kairavachantrika Vidaranam Vidyavadu Jeevanam Anandambudivardanam Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayade Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Shishtastaka. So by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Cheto Darpana Marjanam, as dust have all these mirror have all these dust, the cleaning has to be done, right? That is Cheto Darpana Marjanam by the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Avrittam Jnanametena Jnanino Nitya Vairina Kamarupena Kaundeya Dushpurena Lenacha. Thus, the wise living entity's pure consciousness become covered by his eternal enemy in the form of lust, which is never satisfied and which burns like fire, right? So what is covering us is the lust. That's our eternal enemy, eternal. So lust. Why it's called eternal? Because from the time we fell from the spiritual world, from there also lust was there. Now, when we are in spiritual world, actually now all these won't be there, but we had this minute independence when we started misusing it. Now, sometimes there are children at home, and some kids are very obedient. They listen to the parents. But the moment the parents go out, they might on the TV or play video games or do all these. So similarly, when we were with Krishna in spiritual world. But then the moment we got some free time, we started thinking that we want to enjoy without Krishna. So that is lust again. There also we had. So that's what made us fall into this material world, and we are still here. But the moment we realize that I have to serve Krishna, I have to be his dasa and his servant, then we can start going back now. So that purport Prabhupada mentions, fire is never extinguished by constant supply of fuel. What does that mean? Fire is never extinguished. If you keep on putting fuel, then the fire never gets extinguished, right? Yes, Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. It means that how much ever we satisfy the lust, how much ever we give fuel to the lust, it will burn even more. One desire is satisfied, we will another desire will come. So it's never ending sequence of desires.
Yeah. So desires will keep coming, right? It won't stop. One desire, one desire, one desire. But Prabhupada is like only a stone cannot have desire. So we can desire. That is there, but desire have to be purified. It should be used in Krishna service. If you use our desires in serving Krishna, then it is Krishna consciousness. Indriyani manobuddhir ashya dishtanam uchyate eder vimohati esha jnanam avritya dehinam. So now we can see the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are sitting places of lust. What are the three places of lust? The senses, definitely. The eyes want to see some beautiful movie, ears like to hear some Bollywood, Hollywood music, tongue like to taste so many things in the restaurant, and all that. So that is the senses. The mind, it keeps on thinking about sense gratification. Then intelligence, right? If our intelligence is not pure, if it's not having shastric knowledge, then that's also a place of lust. And through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders them. So the real knowledge is that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Oh, I got scared seeing Manasvi's attendance form. Okay, that's nice. Okay. I was like, what is this? Some nice, some kind of warning. Okay, the soul, intelligence, mind, and the senses. This we know that human body is compared to the chariot. We have our horses are the senses. So sometimes we feel, no, my mind is like just going crazy with these senses. So if you control the senses, start controlling the senses, then the mind gets automatic control. For that, you should have nice intelligence. This is called swadhyay. The self-study, shastric study is called swadhyay. So Prabhupada says every one of us should have a self-study of shastra so that we can have nice intelligence, spiritual, and then control our mind and senses, right? So Bhagavatam also says, Yasyatma buddhi kunapedra dhatuke swathir kalatradi shubhaumajyati yatirtha buddhi salilena karhichit janeshu abhijneshu sa eva khokara. A human being who identifies this body made up of three elements with the self, who considers the byproduct of the body to be his kinsman, who considers the land of birth to be worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge, there is to be considered like an ass or a cow. Okay, so saeva gokara. Gokara means a person becomes an ass or a cow when we identify with this body. Now, this modern terrorism, why is it happening? My country, your country. Sometimes we say that today you're fighting for your country against an enemy country. Next Janma, you might be born in that country. Why? Because you're constantly thinking about that country. So whatever our thoughts are about when you're about to die, that's what we take birth now. And Prabhupada says, you may not be a human being in that country. You might be a dog or a cow there. A cow is holy, not a cow. Might be an ass there. So like a hog. No? So that means Prabhupada is saying that how much you're thinking this is my land, my land, my land. First, it was called Bharat Varsha. Everyone, because Bharat Maharaj was ruling, it was called Bharat Varsha. And then all the divisions happened. But everything belongs to God, no? Ishavasya Idam Sarvam. We are all Krishna's children, right? We are all God's children. So how is you're telling my land, your land? So if you think your land is worshipable, yes, some lands are worshipable. Which are the lands which are worshipable? Put in the chat. There are some lands which is worshipable. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says. Which land we can worship? Yeah, Vrindavan, then Dwaraka, Jagannath Puri, Mathura. Yeah, so all these places are the dham which we can worship, right? Yeah, so these are all worshipable land. And Prabhupada says it's not only these places, wherever there is temples of the Lord, they are all Vrindavan only. So Vrindavan is there all over the world. So these are all worshipable. It says, Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajeshataniya Tad Dhama Vrindavana. You have to worship Vrajeshataniya, it's Krishna. Then Tad Dhama Vrindavana. Similarly, you have to worship Vrindavan also. So similarly, that is worshipable because Krishna was born, the Lord appeared there and in his pastimes, and it is not material, it's spiritual. But if you worship the other land where you're born and start fighting for it, then we are like a animal. Tasmatvam indriyani ado niyamya bharadarshapa papmanam prajahi he enam jnana vijnananashanam. Therefore, O Arjuna and Navadip, O Arjuna, best of Bharadas, in the very beginning curb this great symbol of sin, lust, by regulating the senses and slay this destroyer of knowledge and self-realization. So from the very beginning, in childhood means as early as possible, that's the best part. But then now, wherever we start with, we have to curb this symbol called lust. Now, the best process of curbing your sin lust is taking Ekadashi. On Ekadashi day, initially, Now we'll be like, oh, Ekadashi again. I used to feel, because we can't initially, we can't stay without taking rice or chapatis and all. We're not used to this fruits and all. And sometimes some devotees take nirjal also. That's the greatest tapasya. So those days you open the fridge, you can see all grains and cereals only that day. You don't want to eat, but somehow things come in your way that you want to eat. You want to eat. The thought, the mind keeps pulling you. But as you take Ekadashi, then you will be waiting for the Ekadashi. Oh, when is next Ekadashi? You feel really light and you feel relaxed on that day. You feel like chanting more. Your consciousness is purified. You're doing nice tapasya. So, so this is one of the way to control your tongue. So controlling the senses, controlling the lust starts from tongue. Vacho vekam, manasa krota vekam, jihva vekam, uttara pasta vekam. First we have to control the tongue by chanting the holy name, taking Krishna Prasad. Then all other senses will automatically be controlled and the lust can be controlled. Lust is the only perverted reflection of love of God, which is natural for every living entity. But if one is educated in Krishna consciousness from the very beginning, natural love of God cannot deteriorate into lust. So it's a perverted reflection of love. So from any stage of life or from the time of understanding its urgency, one can begin regulating the senses in Krishna consciousness, devotional service of the Lord, and turn this lust into love of Godhead, the highest perfectional stage of human life. That's what Prabhupada did. So the 4 regulative principles is very important along with chanting. Sometimes you feel you're chanting, but you're not advancing. Other devotees are advancing and I'm not advancing. Why? Might be you're breaking some of the regulative principles. That is important. And our senses should be engaged in Krishna's service. That's what you're doing now. You're chanting the holy name, your tongue is involved, your ears are involved, you're hearing it. When you read the Shastras, your eyes are involved, your tongue is involved again, then your mind. Now slowly, it comes to perfection. Then the lust will become to love. So this is what we already explained, Kama, Prema, or lust and love. So this is the quote from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Adilila, Atmendriya Priti Vajja Tarabali Kam, Krishnendriya Priti Icha Tare Prema Nam. The desire to gratify one's own senses is Kama or lust. The desire to please Krishna or the senses of Krishna is Prema. Rishikena, Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchite. So that's the highest form when you want to please Krishna. Why are you chanting the holy name? Or because my guru said, or because I'm supposed to do, no, or I have some material things. No, it's to please Krishna. It's to please Krishna's senses. When you chant the holy name, Krishna hears it. Might be it's Nama Aparat stage, but still Krishna comes. So that the desire should be to please Krishna. I'm doing this service so that it can please Krishna. If you satisfy our own senses, then it is lust. Like somebody sees a flower, a karmi, what he'll easily do? Or might take it and put it on the hair, or smell it and throw it, or gift it to someone. That's for sense gratification. But a devotee, if you see the flower, you feel like, oh, let me offer to Krishna. Now, when you go in your car to workplace and all, you might see some shops full of fruits, flowers. Now, what do? You should offer it to Krishna. You should say, Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. You're not wasting anything. But then you're actually offering to Krishna. That is Manasa Puja again. But then not like every day you have to do it. You should practically do it. But then one devotee was was going for a walk, and she saw this beautiful tree full of nice flowers, very nice flowers, and the whole tree and all flowers were offered to Krishna. Sarvam Krishna Arpanamastu. When you know that story, anybody know that story? A person unknowingly offered a flower to Krishna, and what happened? He went to heaven. He went to hell. Who knows that story? That's a nice story. Where unknowingly, Ajnada Sugriti he got, and unknowingly he offered a flower. Yeah, Racheta Mataji, what happened to him?
Mataji, I believe it is Gopa Kumara's journey to the spiritual planets. Is it that one?
Okay, you tell. Oh, let me see.
Okay, so Gopa Kumara was a Brahmin, so who used to do his Brahmanical duties. So once one of his spiritual masters had come. That Brahmin had come who was a Vaishnava, who was so quite elevated. So he used to chant the name of Krishna all the time, and he used to often come and go. He was not a permanent person. So then he started meditating on Durga, and then after some time, Durga Devi along with Shivji had asked him to go to another place because this material nature is not a good place. So you go to Vrindavana. when he went to Vrindavana, he came in touch with the same Brahmana. He started describing Krishna in Golok, the two-handed form of Shyamasundar, and once he had the vision for a period of time. So his saliva started to come out, his foam, everything started to come out, and he couldn't tolerate Krishna's beauty, and he fainted. Then he prayed to the Lord, to his spiritual master, that please take me to Krishna. So he had to travel to heavenly planets and asked all of them, "Are you Krishna? Are you Krishna? Are you Krishna?" Then they said, "No, we are chanting the names of Krishna." So he went to Brahma Lok, he went to Devalok, so he went to Kailash, and he understood that this is not a place where Krishna lives. So after that, he by mistakenly offered the leaf, the flower in a Vishnu temple. So he had gone to Vaikuntha, where he was very happy, like this is where Krishna is. So there he said, "Are you Narayana?" He called all the Vishnu Dutas, says, "Are you Narayana? Are you Narayana?" So they also scolded him. "How can you call us Narayanas? We are the servants of Narayana." So he thought Narayana is Krishna, but the Vishnu Dutas had stopped him. "No, he is not Krishna, he is Narayana." So he was not happy there. So with Narada Muni's help, he had got the goal of Subala in Golok after a long penance in Vaikuntha.
Okay.
This is given in the book Beyond Vaikuntha Loka.
Oh, okay. So which I was about to say is like somebody who actually went to offer something to Krishna. I mean, not to Krishna. He plucked a flower to offer to his girlfriend. So he saw a nice flower, and he was like a karmi. So he was just thinking of sense gratification. So he smelled that flower, and he was thinking, it's a nice flower, let me offer to my girlfriend. So he was thinking about the girlfriend. He was looking the flower and walking. So unknowingly he tripped. He trembled, and he could see one wood there. So he fell. So when he fell, the flower unknowingly went to a river, and the river was flowing. So he tried to catch that flower, he could not, and the flower went. So anyway, that flower is waste. So he said, "Sarvam Narayanamastu" or Krishnarpanamastu. So he offered that to Krishna. Anyway, he is not going to get that flower. So he just offered. Just like that. He didn't want to. But then his purpose was sense gratification. But he just offered like that. Then when he died, Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas came, and they were like deciding where to take him. And before Vishnu Dutas didn't come, but then Yamadutas were there, and also they were planning to take him to hell because he did lot of sin. But they said there's one good thing he did, that unknowingly he offered one flower to Krishna, so he'll go to heaven for 10 minutes. 10 minutes he can be taken to heaven, and after that he should go to hell. So they said, "Where you want to go first, heaven or hell?" So he said, 10 minutes, let me go to heaven and enjoy. So he went to heaven. So he saw nice flower gardens and so many things in heaven, that first thing he asked was, "Give me a big scissors." So they gave a big scissors to him. So he have 10 minutes in heaven. What he started doing is, with the big scissors, he started getting all the flowers in the garden, saying, "Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu, Narayanastu, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu, Krishnarpanamastu." And everyone is like, "What are you doing? You're crazy, you're cutting all the flowers." He said, "I'm offering to Krishna. By offering one flower, unknowingly, I got 10 minutes in Swarga. So by offering all these flowers, how much benefit I'll get?" So he started doing that. So unknowingly also, it's called Ajnada Sugriti. Unknowingly you push a bucket of water, and it goes and waters the tulsi plant. That is Ajnada Sugriti. So unknowingly you were traveling, you didn't get any grains to eat. You just ate fruits that day, and it is Ekadashi. So unknowingly you took Ekadashi. No? So those are all Ajnada Sugritis. But that is not the real way to do. We have to purposely do it. Then it becomes love. Indriyani parani ahur indriyaiva parammana manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe parasastu sa. So the mind and the soul. So here it is explained how the body is there, then senses are superior to the dull matter, then the mind is higher than the senses, then intelligence is still higher than the mind, and soul is even higher than intelligence. Right? So this is how. So what should we do is, we should strengthen the soul. Once you chant Hare Krishna, you give strength to the soul, then everything follows. And you should give spiritual intelligence. then your mind gets controlled. Your senses should be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Then the whole thing, your body can be engaged in Krishna consciousness. Offer obeisances, start doing some service. Then your senses will get involved by chanting Hare Krishna, and all the mind will automatically come. Then do Swadhyay. Then the whole thing will be controlled. So the working senses are superior to dull matter, and mind is higher than the senses. Yes, Jyoti Mataji.
Mataji, I'll ask at the end of the session.
Yeah, okay. So the working senses are superior to dull matter, mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and the soul is even higher than intelligence. So so we have to have a higher taste. Higher taste is param drishtva nivartante. That means you get the higher taste of Krishna consciousness. If therefore the soul is directly engaged with the Supreme, naturally all other subordinates, namely intelligence, mind, and senses, will be automatically engaged. Evam buddhe param bhutva samstaphyayatmanam atmana jahi sashtam mahabaho kamarupam durashadam. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to the material senses, mind, and intelligence, O mighty Arjuna, one should steady the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence, Krishna consciousness, and thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So, Krishna himself mentioned the way to control the lust is by spiritual strength. That is, spiritual intelligence. You should have a steady mind, fixed in Krishna consciousness. That's called, stage is called Nishta. One may not give up the work and prescribed duty all of a sudden, but gradually developing Krishna consciousness, one can be situated in a transcendental position without being influenced by the material senses and the mind. By steady intelligence directed towards one's pure identity, this is the sum total of this chapter. So what should we do? Gradually, we should involve in Krishna consciousness, and we should be in a transcendental position. What is our transcendental position? What is the real position of the living entity? Kanjan Mataji?
Mataji, real position of living entity is servitor of the Lord. Yeah, the servant of the Lord.
Yeah, Krishnera Swarupa, Jivera Swarubhoi, Krishnera Nityadasa. Krishnera Tadastha Shakti, Bhinna Bhinna Prakasha. So we are servant, Krishnera Nityadas. That is one way of explaining servant of Krishna. But more than that, we servant of Krishna, right? Gobi Bhaktor Padagamala, Dasa Dasa Nudas. That's what it says. So I'll end this chapter by a story. This is a nice, funny story. So you should tell who the karma goes to. Okay, you might have heard the story sometimes. You can put in the chat. Okay. So once there was a king who gave charity. So he's a nice, very rich king, and he gives nice charity. He was giving milk in charity. So the poor people, they are coming, brahmanas are coming with pot, and he give the milk to them. So when he is giving the milk, what happened? Thing is, when he was giving the milk, what happened? There was a snake which was catching the vulture catching a snake on its beak and flying. The snake was about to die. It's a poisonous snake, and a drop of poison fell on the milk which the king was giving the brahmana. So the king was giving, but the king was not knowing that the poison got mixed. But on top of it, the vulture was flying. Vulture's food is the snake, and snake, because it was about to die, the poison dripped and it went into the brahmana's milk, and the brahmana died, and the drank the milk and died. So, and after that, the whole thing happened. There were some people want to go to the kingdom. So they asked, which is the way to go to the kingdom? So there was a lady who was selling some fruits or vegetables, and also they asked her, and she said, oh, the king who killed the brahmana. So the way is that, you can go through that way to that kingdom. And okay, and they reached that kingdom. Now, the Chitragupta and all came, and they were thinking, whom to give the karma? Because king was giving charity. He didn't know that poison mixed with the milk. The brahmana was not knowing anything. He was just accepting the charity, and he drank. The snake, because out of, it was about to die in the death moment, it just spitted its poison. It didn't even mean to put it in the pot of the brahmana. It was just on the air, and it just did it. So the vulture was carrying its food. So whom does the karma go? I think I told this story once. So Prafula Mataji says king. Kanchan Mataji says king. Nobody who got who's that who gave that answer? Sridhar Prabhu says nobody. But karma has to go to someone. Manasvi says king or snake. Vilas Prabhu king. Racheta Mataji king or snake. Okay, so yeah, Vilas Prabhu, why do you think it's the king?
I think because his intention was good actually. I think, I don't know, maybe
Intention, but he didn't even know the poison got mixed.
Yeah.
The king didn't know. He was giving charity, no? He gave charity to so many brahmanas, but this he was giving charity and unknowingly, so unknowingly it came, na? Okay, let's. Okay. It's just a funny question. This is just to make you think. Yes, Manasi, why do you think it's the king or the snake?
Mataji, because the king only gave that milk to the Brahmana and the snake only dripped the poison. So no one else or vulture also.
So you're saying the karma got shared between king and the snake?
No, Mataji, any of theirs can be the answer.
Tell one person.
Snake.
But animals don't have karma. Animals don't have karma. If a tiger eats a lion, lion eats a deer, or tiger eats a deer, it doesn't know what is right and wrong. So they don't have intelligence to distinguish. So they don't have karma, right? They don't have karma.
Mataji, king, then king.
Okay, so you then you shifted the karma to the king. Okay, so Kanchan Mataji says king, right?
Yes, Mataji.
Why? What's your reason?
Mataji, actually, king is giving charity. If king would have not given charity, that death would not be possible at any cost. So king is the medium somewhere, whatever the reason is, but king
he didn't know it purposely, na?
But
how
Mataji,
will you feel that some karma is coming on you, but you didn't even think about it in your mind, and you feel bad now when you get that karma?
But Mataji, some karma we don't want, but they supposing they come without any.
Yeah, Varun Prabhu, you say it's the king, no? Why do you say so, Prabhu?
Because he do the charity basically. So I said the king.
Charity is actually a good thing, no? What he did.
Yes,
He gave so much charity. Charity is actually a good thing, but unknowingly but even Chitragupta was confused. Charity is also a good thing. Chitragupta was thinking that how to give that king. King gives so many charity. Till now, he's given so many charity and he have got so many punyas. He never did anything wrong. Okay. Yeah, Sonia Mataji, why do you say it's a snake? I told there's no karma for the animals, na? Yes, Mataji?
Sorry, Mataji. Sorry.
Sometimes,
it has to be the king.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is said that Garuda is in a vulture. He is in a bird family like Garuda. Garuda has been a nice devotee of Krishna. He is the carrier of the Lord Narayan. So, but the Garuda, the body needs to feed on the fish. So it doesn't mean it's karma. No, there's no karma for the. Okay, so I got so many answers. Racheta Mataji also king or snake. Vilas Prabhu king, Manasvi king. Sridhar Prabhu, why do you say it's nobody? But karma has to go to someone, na?
No, Mataji, all were doing their duty sincerely. So there was no bad intention for anybody. The duty of the vulture is to searching for its food. So snake
all
is
were
food.
doing, yes.
So
all were doing their duty sincerely except one.
Except?
One person.
Except this lady, you can tell.
Yeah,
It's
that's a lady. Yeah, that's a lady. I got so many nice right answers from so many told it's lady. Okay, so we got answer from Jyoti Mataji says lady. Lakshmi Mataji says lady. Ankita Mataji lady. Then who else? Natasha Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji lady. Santosh Prabhu lady. Okay, so all of them were right. Why? Because she spoke bad about the king. So gossip also have reaction. Sometimes we gossip and then sometimes we feel there's no reactions for it. No, there is. So what did she do? She put the blame on the king. Till then, that she was not involved in the scene. This whole thing happened and the Chitragupta was confused whom to give the karma. Suddenly he heard that lady gossiping about the king, putting the blame on the king, saying that, see, that king who killed the Brahmana, king didn't purposely kill, but she told it, which the king didn't do, the karma went to her. So we should be very careful. If we say something which that person didn't do, somebody didn't do, and we do it, we say it's 100% karma on us. But that person did it, and still if we say the 50% karma comes to us. So we should be, this is how the law of karma works. Very, very risky and very, challengeable something. Okay, so we are done with this chapter. Who had a question? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So, Manasi, which sloka you going to teach today? After the class. You decide the sloka, okay?
Mataji, 4.2 and 4.8.
Good, good. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji, what's your question?
Hare Krishna Mataji, I have a question.
Yeah.
You just now said that we should be very careful in what we speak, because what we speak, what we say, that is how the karma affects us, right? So what about those person who unknowingly, by the slip of the tongue or something, they make the mistake or they speak that is not needed? Then what happens?
Unknowingly what?
Slip of tongue, na,
by the
mistake,
slip of tongue.
They say that. Then what happens to that? Those persons, how does the karma affect those persons?
But that doesn't happen all the time, no? Slip of tongue is just once in a while it happens. But even that, it is said that in Kali Yuga, whatever you think in the mind, if you think bad about a person in the mind, it's not considered. But if you say it in words, it is considered sinful, and in action also it's considered sinful. So in the mind, if you think bad, that's not wrong. But slip of tongue, if it comes out, there might be karma coming.
And what about those persons? Like, suppose some person has done wrong with you, and you're not getting the punishment, and they say that in the heart of the heart you curse that person, or you say like that. So does that karma affect us or that other related person, Mataji?
Yeah, how you react is actually your karma. But then whatever they did, definitely they're going to suffer that reaction, right? But you also got involved in it because of our past sin, past karma. We are also involved. But we should not, the cursing and everything, it's not to be done by us. Actually, Prabhupada says we should forgive. Now we should forgive, because whatever we are suffering, whatever people have insulted us or did something, that is my karma coming back. I have insulted someone in previous life. When Prabhupada was insulted once, Prabhupada said, don't do anything now, because that's my karma coming back. Something which we did in previous Janma or this Janma itself, that's a reaction coming. So, but how we react, that becomes our karma. So we should be very careful. Yes, Prafulla Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. How can we control our bacha ego?
Control our?
Bacha ego, Mataji.
Bacha, the speech, na?
Yeah.
So it said that when you talk more about Krishna, then it will becomes automatically controlled. Or sometimes we should think before we speak. Sometimes we speak just like that, but we think and speak. And whether this is, if we are speaking something, we should think whether this is benefiting me or whether this is benefiting the other person, or it's not benefiting any one of us. Just leave it. Just leave it. But because it said sometimes silence is golden. Silence is good. It does. So pure devotee is also silent. That doesn't mean he doesn't speak. He speaks only Krishna conscious things. He doesn't speak material things. But for us, yes, we have to speak material things, but try to avoid such company of non-devotees because prajalpa is one which destroy our bhakti. No? So how to control is by taking Krishna's holy name and taking Krishna prasad. When you do it, our tongue become automatically controlled. Jihva. Okay. So even mukhe hi jihva do. You have to start service with jihva. Jyoti Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dhanvat Pranam. Mataji, I wanted to ask that Vrindavan is a holy place, but what if we take the whole world, whole creation of God as Vrindavan, because God is omnipresent. Krishna is in every nook and corner. So if we take the whole universe as Vrindavan, then are we wrong?
No,
Because
that's what
wherever
Prabhupada
we
said.
go,
Yeah, Prabhupada said, I have built Vrindavan all over the world. All over, wherever Krishna's holy name is chanted, that's Vrindavan. Even your house is a Vrindavan. Vrindavan is actually a consciousness also. Like you're conscious of Krishna, that is Vrindavan. Yes, Krishna is everywhere. Andandarastha Paramanu Chayandarastham. He is in even every atom. But are we feeling the presence? So why Vrindavan land is so special is because it's not from this material world. When Varahadev came to take Mother Earth, she was hiding inside the Garbhodakasha ocean, and Hiranyaksha came to destroy her. Then Varahadev, the Lord, came in the boar form, pig form, and he went inside the Garbhodakasha ocean and took the Mother Earth on his tusk. And it said he took Mother Earth on the tusk and he went and rested on Vrindavan called Vishram Ghat, one place. So if Vrindavan was a place on the earth, how is Varahadev with earth on his tusks going and sitting on Vrindavan? So it said Vrindavan is not a material place. When Krishna wanted to do his pastime, he brought the Goloka Dham or Vrindavan Dham here along with Govardhan and Yamuna and all. So we say it's transcendental place. And Krishna ate the mud of Vrindavan and walked there with barefoot. But as you said, yes, Vrindavan is all over the world. Prabhupada has given us Vrindavan all over the world by building nice temples. And every house is also becoming a nice temple by deity worship. And even in our heart, Krishna is there. So wherever a pure devotee goes, that's Vrindavan.
Mataji, one more question.
Now, I'll just take one question, please, because there's so many waiting. We're already late. Yes, Kanchan Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I wanted to understand this. In text 37 of this chapter, 3rd, it is mentioned that the origin of lust is also in the Supreme. So how do you understand this?
Krishna was so lusty about butter. He's Navani the Chora, no? You know that? Yeah. So he was like, so every feeling here in this material world, every emotions is seen in the Supreme. Prabhupada says that, the thieves are stealing things. Where is it coming from? Krishna. He's butter thief. He's stealing butter from Goloka. But that became perverted and it became burst here. But all these qualities are also in Krishna. So that's why we have these qualities. So these qualities are already in Krishna. Lusty in the sense, lust can be used transcendently also, Mataji. Prabhupada was so lusty about building temples and preaching Krishna consciousness. So lust can be used in Krishna service. Anger can be used in Krishna service. No? So that's why we say.
Mataji, but like if lust is in the Supreme, like it is in infinite form and we get that in a minute form. Yes. So why, like, and lust is also compared to like if we do sense gratification somehow, it is lust. So how can like we cannot have lust if like Supreme has a lust? So why
Supreme's lust is for spiritual things, it's transcendental, but our lust is into material modes of passion. But Krishna cannot be touched by any of these modes. He's in Shuddha Sattvagun. That's the difference. Lust in Shuddha Sattvagun, lust in modes of passion or ignorance is different. No, this is for material things. Krishna is doing for transcendental things. That's the difference. There's a lot of difference in that. And Krishna is doing why? Why is Krishna lusty about butter? Why is Krishna stealing butter? So as to give pleasure to the gopis. It's not for his sense gratification. Krishna is not eating butter for his pleasure. He is doing it as a service for the gopis because gopis had a desire that let Krishna come to my house and steal the butter. Because we are poor, Krishna is Vrajendra Nandan, he is the prince of Vrindavan. He can't come to our home and take butter. At least without anyone seeing, let Krishna come and take. So gopis had a desire that let the butter which we make be taken by Krishna. So whatever Krishna is doing is for the devotee's pleasure. Krishna is not doing anything for himself. He's doing it for Krishna, devotees' pleasure. Everything. That's what Krishna likes, to give pleasure to his devotees. That's why he appeared. Why did he appear? So that Vasudeva and Devaki wanted a son like him. Right? So to give pleasure to the devotees, Krishna does his pastime. Yes, Santosh Prabhu.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. I had a small doubt, Mataji. Like if there is some device in the family, after how many days can the family members visit the temple? This was point number 1, which I wanted.
Death in the family?
If there is a death in the family, after how many days can we visit the temple?
Yeah, so actually in ISKCON, Prabhupada mentions that if we follow all those rituals, then we are not preaching the concept, we are not a body, we are spirit soul. So we know when the death means what? There's transmigration of body, that soul. Definitely we chant more for that soul. And we know that's just changing of the body. Either that soul can get liberation and moksha and go back to Krishna, or if I have done punya, can go to heavenly planets, or based on the karma, take punarjanma, whatever it is, that's in Krishna's hands. But we know it's transmigration of soul. So we don't stop going to the temple. In fact, we go and pray for that particular soul. Krishna, please take care of that soul and let that soul get devotional service at your lotus feet. So we pray, chant more for that soul who had departed. So normally they say 14 days, 15 days. But ISKCON, as far as Prabhupada concerned, he never said all these rules. In fact, they pray more for the soul in the temple. Okay.
Right, Mataji. Thanks a lot, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Manasvi.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, my question is that, like, what will the karma be of the lady? Like, what karma will she get? What reaction of the karma?
That I don't know, because it's just the 3 modes of materialization and Krishna who decides it, what karma will come. But then gossip also have reactions that's coming. Of how the reaction will come, that I will. But it is said that the story is basically to make us understand that even gossip have a reaction, or there is sometimes we feel it's not, but yes, Prajalpa also has reactions, right? And if we blaspheme the devotees, that's more Vaishnava Aparad then. But I don't know which reaction she got. Okay. Yes, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. You say that Vrindavan is special because Lord Krishna did his pastimes over there. So what about Barsana? Because Barsana is as equal pious as because of Radharani. Is that so? Is it like the same? Because when we visit
Barsana is more
Vrindavan,
special. It's Radharani there. It's more special. We can't say which dham is more high. Every dham is special, transcendental. Jagannath Puri is special because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did his pastimes there, who was Radha Krishna combined form, right? Ayodhya is special, Lord Ram was there. Every dham, Mathura, because Krishna appeared there. Every dham is special, Mataji. We can't say this dham, that dham. Barsana definitely Radharani's place. Raval is the place where Radharani appeared. Gokul is the place where Krishna did little pastimes there. Govardhan, every place where the Lord did the pastimes is definitely special. We can't say which is more, and we can't evaluate them. But yes, definitely special. That's why one of the bhava, there are 9 symptoms of a devotee going to the bhava stage of a devotional life. So in the bhava stage of life, there are 9 symptoms. And one of is Preeti Stat Vasati Stale. A pure devotee wants to live in a place where Krishna did his pastimes. Preeti Stat Vasati Stale. Wherever Krishna did his pastime, the devotee likes to go. Why does the devotees do yatra, Kartik yatra to Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri? Why they are going? Because they're so attached to go there, because Krishna did the pastimes there. So, right, these places are very special. It's not a material place. If we think it's material, it's dham, aparad, what we are doing. Right? Okay, so can we end here?